By the way, a couple of Hall of Fame new members, Adrian Beltre, Joe Mauer, and Todd Helton went into the Hall of Fame. It was one of those where I went, wait, they're announcing this today. And I just thought it kind of disappeared in there, in the sports world. And I understand it with everything that goes on, certainly with the NFL. But, I mean, baseball can't be this far down the totem pole where you go, hey, Hall of Fame. I mean, it used to be a big deal. I mean, it's still a big deal to go into the Hall of Fame, but just the buildup. And I know we tend to, it feels like every year when we have players go in or don't go in, we get back to the same kind of arguments here. Is Adrian Beltre, worthy of 95% of the votes? No, he's not. Is Joe Mauer a first ballot Hall of Famer? No, I don't think so. Todd Helton with his numbers, okay. How much was that Coors Field? These are all really, really good players. But Beltre was a compiler. Now, he did have 5 Gold Gloves. But when you mention great third baseman of all time, Adrian Beltre, given his vote total, is right there. George Brett, Mike Schmidt, maybe one other third baseman in there that I'm missing. Brooks Robinson, maybe. Joe Mauer, winning batting titles as a catcher certainly helped, but he prolonged his career by moving to first base. Todd Helton helped out by Coors Field, had incredible numbers, a batting average of like .315 for his career. So it's interesting, but baseball did this to itself because we had these incredible numbers, and then all of a sudden we don't validate those numbers. So now you're getting back to maybe more of what is real in baseball, or at least we hope. But as far as superstars, you got Ohtani and you got Bryce Harper. Anybody else in there? Kershaw's not a superstar anymore. So that, we're waiting for Mike Trout to be a star from from fame, that you're playing in big games, obviously a first ballot Hall of Famer, but, baseball loses some of that star power. And, baseball can blame itself for a lot of that. Baseball is big in the local markets, but it's just not the national pastime anymore. And I think baseball, with what we thought were real numbers, and they're not real numbers, now back to what maybe are real numbers as we move forward. The bar is lowered a little bit here of who's getting in, what is required. But first ballot Hall of Famer, Joe Mauer, great player, not a first ballot Hall of Famer. Adrian Beltre, not a first ballot Hall of Famer. Great numbers, compiler, and then Todd Helton getting in, made the jump from, I think he was in the 60s last year. And I don't know if any of these other guys are going to get in because it always comes down to, well, what about Pete Rose? Pete's not getting in. What about A-Rod? He's not getting in. Roger Clemens, Barry Bonds. It's a museum. Yeah, we've had these discussions for many, many years. If you're going to put them in a museum, then have the plaque represent really who they were or are. And I have no problem if people want that in the Hall of Fame. It's your Hall of Fame. It's the fans. It's a museum. You want to do that? It's just, I don't want those guys to benefit, be rewarded if they cheated the game. Because then everybody else, players had to do the same. And just the trickle down of if you don't do it, you're going to be left in the dust here. And, you hear a variety of reasons of that guy was a Hall of Famer before he used steroids. No. It's your entire career. You can't be father of the year and then you cheat on your wife and then you leave your wife, but you were father of the year. No, it doesn't work that way. It's the totality here. Clemens, Bonds, yeah, great. You were on the road to the Hall of Fame and you screwed it up. A-Rod, you screwed it up. Nobody else did. You guys did. And you guys got paid handsomely for this. Do I appreciate what I saw? Yes. Do I believe what I saw? No. But at the time you're watching and, everybody seemed to sign off that, everybody's good on this, clean on this, no issues here. But we know And I just don't want to see those players rewarded. If you want them in the Hall of Fame, if the Hall of Fame is separate from baseball. If the Hall of Fame wants them on the ballot, or they want to put Pete Rose in or on the ballot, they can do that. And if you want those players in there, what's their plaque look like? Then fine. You know, I'm tired of fighting it, or at least objecting to it, because I was around it. And it's not that I go, boy, now I feel guilty, I have to speak up. It's just I saw it, and I think baseball did a poor job in policing that. And we created fictitious numbers here. We did. And people say, well, you know, you still got to hit the baseball. Yes, if you get to the major leagues, you already know how to hit the baseball. But if you hit the baseball further, then that's the benefit. I mean, Ben Johnson knew how to run, but then he used steroids to help him run even faster. So the fastest human ever. So once again, I don't want this to be, you know, turn into a discourse or referendum on this. We've been down this road before, and maybe baseball changes where it's the Hall of really good or very good that we're looking at, that they aren't these, you know, superstars, or at least when we were growing up. You know, Don Mattingly, to me, that's a Hall of Famer. Injury cut short his career. Kirby Puckett got in. Injury cut short his career. Terrell Davis got in. Injury. Gale Sayers. You know, baseball, they could look at Don Mattingly and put him in the Hall of Fame. I don't think anybody would have a problem with that. Yes, Mark.
Do you think because when Don Mattingly was the best player on the Yankees, they weren't very good?
Yeah.
Does that hurt him? Because Kirby Puckett, they were on like World Series teams when he was there.
Yes. I think he won 2 titles, but Donnie missed out by a year. You know, he battled that back injury, and then the Yankees got good, but he couldn't play any longer. But, you know, someone like Steve Nash. Steve Nash, bad back. Didn't win anything, any titles, won a couple MVPs, but he's a Hall of Famer. You know, we have careers that are cut short. And, you know, you could make that argument for Donnie Baseball.